Welcome back to a brand new episode of TVGP's We Roguelike It. I'm your host, Boston. Joining me as always is Moonpear.
Uh,
We're talking about week 2 of Mewgenics. How much cat breeding did you get up to this week?
Not a whole lot, unfortunately.
Okay.
Over the past 2 weeks, to be honest, because sickness,
Yeah.
tiredness, workness, the usual. I think okay, so currently I'm in a run on the sewers. I don't know if I've unlocked the next area yet.
Okay.
I know you're at the desert because I saw your stream title. I try not to watch when you do Mewgenics just because I don't want spoilers.
Yeah,
Uh,
we'll talk about the desert here in a minute.
it's the main issues that I'm having this week are the same issues we talked about last week, which is mechanically it seems like it's really fun to play. I'm starting to really enjoy the whittling out of the people with bad genetics
Right.
from my home, so I can try and min-max my way to a better squad to go out and about.
Min-max your gene pool.
Yes, I do. I do think that the randomly generated names for the teams is good,
Mm-hmm.
but the so this is going to make sense to you, Boston. It might not make sense to a lot of people.
Okay.
Starting a run in this game feels like late game Isaac, which is to
Yes.
say, I better be strapped in and ready to go. Like no ifs, no
Right.
ands, no buts. Like sit your ass down because you're gonna be in this run for like 2 hours, whereas like you start Isaac and you can do a run in like 20 minutes.
Right. I'm just gonna go
Before
fight Mom
you.
again. Yay.
Yeah, exactly. Late game Isaac is like, oh no, I've got mom's heart, heaven or hell, then the super bosses, then I also have the blue thing if I want to do the blue thing and the
Right.
other things, and it's just like, oh no.
Yeah. I
It's a lot, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, I had a bad week in Mewgenics. I had a ton of successes, but I kind of want to get the bad out of the way first. And I had one of those moments with this game that I feel like post Binding of Isaac Afterbirth, the original Afterbirth release, I'm having more and more of these moments with Ed games. And that is, I feel like I get, not punished, but I feel like I get an outcome that I don't know anything about. So to give the example of what I'm talking about here, I am going through a run and I get to one of those event tiles. It's if anyone has seen it, it's just like a little piece of paper with a question mark on it. You land on it, something happens, and it's essentially a dice roll. You can go in and you can say like, oh, this cat has 10 strength, and I can use my strength to roll the dice, and or use my charisma, which has 3, and I'll roll dice there. Those are typically negative. Looking at Tyler on, I think it was Twitter. It was either Twitter or Blue Sky. Says that a lot of those events are going to try and, if your run is going really well, it's going to try and bring your run down a little bit to give a little bit of a speed bump. If your run is going really poorly, it's going to try and bring you up a little bit. So it's going to try and normalize your run a little, which is fine.
Mm-hmm.
My frustration is I ran into that statue of Satan from The Binding of Isaac, and he said, you have 3 options. One is sacrifice the cat that is talking to me. Number 2 is take 10 HP from each cat. And the third option is do nothing. And I had not yet seen this event yet. And I wanted to do the normal roguelike thing of, if you haven't seen it, at least try it. And I thought,
Yes.
of those three options, I don't want to do nothing, because I do want to see the event. Sacrificing the cat seemed like too much, because I'm not sure if that would outright kill the cat or if it would just remove the cat from my party, which is way worse than I want to have happen. So I picked the option of take 10 HP from every cat. My tank isn't really going to feel it. My hunter and my rogue, they're really going to feel it because their constitution is much lower.
Yes.
The game goes, okay, cool, thanks for the 10 HP. Nothing happened. And I'm like, well, that's the most frustrating and the most... Like, I had this flash of immediate anger because unlike a lot of other games where you're clearly rolling the dice, I had no idea what the potential outcomes were. And I had no idea of, like, if you pick this option, you're going to take 10 HP from your cats, but you have a 50-50 chance of something good happening or nothing happening. And that lack of information is so frustrating of, like, I don't need to know, oh, we have a 2% chance to get a new cat, and you have a 5% chance to do this. I at least want to know, is it 50-50, good or bad? Is it 25% good, 50% bad, 25% nothing? Like, the lack of any information reminds me so much of the frustrations of Binding of Isaac, of, like, picking up an item and the game just being like, tee-hee-hee, what does it do? And two rooms later, you blow up. And you're like, what the hell, man? Like, I use this item and I just die? Like, what? Like, now I know, but, like, there's so little information in these events, especially when there's a higher cost. Like, I can't even imagine how much more pissed off I would have been if I had sacrificed my cat and the game just giving me a middle finger and be like, yeah, you didn't win the dice roll, bye. And it's like, okay, but I didn't even know how many dice I'm rolling. I don't even know what the chances are. So, like, that was incredibly frustrating. And I know
it's like it's the endgame Isaac thing where it can just be mean.
That's my problem. That's the perfect distillation of my problem with Ed's games now, and I am putting the onus on Ed as the designer, and I am being very clear to say I do not think it's bad design because I don't know what the design is, and I'm not a game designer. It just feels mean, and, like, there is an element of you didn't win the dice roll, and that's fine, but I don't... To me, if you're going to go play a dice game and the game says, we're going to roll a dice, whoop, you failed. And it's like, okay, but how many... Did I roll 3d6? Did I roll 1d100? Did I roll 3d20? Like, what did I roll? And what are my chances even here? Like, I don't even know the ranges of what. So, like, you're right. It does feel like post Binding of Isaac Afterbirth, which sometimes it just feels like the game wants to give you a middle finger and is, like, happy about it.
So I hate to do this, but we need a name for this, because we know early access syndrome, where games get too hard because they're in early access for too long. Is this the opposite? Is this long development syndrome, where you just develop a game for so long that, like, Isaac definitely had this issue because it just kept getting updates and updates and updates and updates, and it got harder and harder, and not a bad thing, but meaner and meaner with every single update.
To me, the difficulty isn't the problem, because I like that Mewgenics is a difficult game, and I'm okay with that. Just like how I liked and like that Isaac can be a difficult game. It's just, it feels like an extension of Ed trolling in a way that feels so so frustrating and so occasionally mean and all of that. Like, it just feels like Edmund being like, okay, well, you lost because you're gonna lose. Good luck. And it's like, okay, but I like, without all of the info there and without all of a greater picture, and without the majority, if the majority of the events were positive, or if the negatives of the events were not so punitive, it wouldn't feel that bad of like, yeah, you made a deal with the devil and it turned out badly. It's like, okay, that's on me. I made a deal with the devil. But with all of the events,
I mean, it's literally right there in the name.
exactly, like, but with all of the events feeling punitive, then at that point it's a system and it's a mechanic of the game I'm going out of my way to avoid. Because if I roll the dice and I fail 90% of the time, that feels consistently frustrating. Without knowing, yeah, you're 90%. You have 90% chance to fail and 10% chance to succeed. I just click the button and the game goes, yeah, screw you, you lost. Also, your cat has a broken leg and a broken rib now. Good luck. And it's like, what the? Come on, man. Like, I didn't even do anything. And, like, I'm having the run of my life because I'm playing well in the battles. And to feel punished for that in the events feels exceptionally bad. So, I don't know what to do about that other than skip the events. But that's my kind of main frustration point of this game, is the game just kind of gleefully giving you the finger and saying, like, "What? Why are you mad?" And it's like, well, because you gave me the finger, man. Like, what? That I don't even know you.
Yes.
So, wanted to get the bad out of the way first. I did finally beat the graveyard. My guess was correct about that boss, surrounding them and just beating the poops out of them. That worked perfectly, especially you can, like, trap them, and after a couple of turns, they will kind of escape from being trapped by you. But I was able to inflict enough damage over time stuff, like bleed and poison and stuff like that, that even after they ran away, every turn they were getting damaged. So that was a huge help. But then the most annoying boss in this game gets way more annoying. Spoiler alert for this boss. When you kill it, it takes over the body of the cat that killed it and controls that cat.
Okay.
You then have to kill that cat, which is fine because you're at the end of the run anyway. It is a bummer to have, like, the injury, but it's really not the end of the world. But then you do that and the boss just pops right out of the cat again, with 1 HP, but it still has the dodging thing. So it's, like, still nearly impossible to hit it for that last HP, which
of course
I eventually did. And it was just sort of like, I beat it and I didn't feel happy that I beat it. I just felt annoyed the entire time, which is, like, really not the, like, level of satisfaction you want on the other end of it. And I thought, that's fine. I beat that. I unlocked the new area of the desert. I unlocked a new collar, the necromancer. I unlocked another NPC back at the base. Like, I unlocked a whole ton of stuff. So I was fairly happy with that. I played around with the necromancer collar. It's really odd. It feels like, of the collars I have so far, I think that's my 7th or 8th collar. It feels like the most unbalanced one, like imbalanced one at the moment. Not like it's too strong or anything, but more that I'll do a run with cat and it is like raising zombies of enemy cats and having them fight for you, and throwing leeches that steal health from the enemy cats and giving them to the necromancer, and like this wildly overpowered, super strong thing. And then I'll do another run with the necromancer, and it's basically like, yeah, I don't do anything. I have no useful skills whatsoever, and I barely even have a functional attack. So it's this kind of like wild swing between, wow, this class is incredibly powerful, versus I can't even do any damage with this thing. So I'm not sure what's, going on with that. That seems strange. I did do a run or two in the desert, which really sucks because you can't heal your cats at the end. Your cats don't automatically heal at the end of a battle, which is really frustrating. There are... all the shops are gone. They're replaced by water shops, which you can buy water bottles or fill water bottles up, and you can use that to heal and kind of remove the debuff for a little bit of time. And the bosses in there suck. Like I was curious to see, because it very clearly, when you start a run, it says Act 1, alleyway, and those pathways. Act 2, the desert. So it's very clearly like the next step of the game. And I was not hopeful, but I was curious, because I know who designed this game. Is Act 2's beginning sort of a reset to the difficulty of the alleyway from Act 1? Or is it a continuation of the difficulty from the ultimate path of either pathway of Act 1? And the answer seems to be, well, it's a continuation of the ending difficulty of Act 1, which is fine, but you're still starting a run in the desert with level 1 cats. So there's a little bit of frustration there of like, of course, they have better stats and they have better passives and stuff because I am breeding my cats in a way that I think is giving me an advantage, but it still is a little bit of a frustration of like, yeah, this first battle in the desert is just going to be really hard. It's like, oh, okay, that's pretty frustrating.
Yeah.
Last thing I wanted to talk about, though, on my healer, on one of my runs, I think it was my last run this past week, I took a passive ability called Mini-Me, which I've never had a chance to take before. And it said, it will clone the cat that picked this passive ability, and it will have half of the stats of the main cat, and it's AI controlled. I was like, well, again, roguelike rule, let's just try it. Let's see what it does. What I didn't realize, though, is it inherited everything from the cat it was cloned by. So spells that they had, items they had equipped, passives and actives that they had earned up to that point, all of that. So I then had an AI-controlled ranged healer that was just wandering around the battlefield, healing up my cats, which was great. What I didn't realize is they also had the skill that I picked, because I hadn't had a chance to pick it yet, which is like, I think the name of it was called the Forbidden Fart. And it was basically like a wide ring around that cat that did damage, poison damage, and it said that it will have long-lasting, I think, permanent effects when you cast it. I didn't realize that cloned cat would also have that. So they turned out to be this ranged healer that just walked into enemies and knocked out this giant AoE fart that did a ton of damage, knocked back enemies, gave them 4 poison to each enemy hit by it, and then gave them a mutation when they used. Thankfully, it didn't give them an injury, but it gave them a negative mutation every time they used it. And I was like, well, that's fine, because you're not coming back to the house with me, so, like, fart it up, bro. Let's go do it. So that was unexpectedly wild, and had a moment of like, okay, wow, I could see if you've got a really great cat and you have a chance to use Mini-Me with them, that seems like something that could break a run fairly quickly, which I think is pretty great.
Yeah.
So, I still don't know how I feel about Mewgenics. My worry, and I talked about this on stream this week, my worry is the more I play Mewgenics, the less I want to play Mewgenics. And that's kind of the opposite of what you want with a roguelike. Like, you want to be like, oh, the more I'm playing it, and the more stuff I'm unlocking, the more meta progression I'm making, the more I learn about the game's items and systems and etc., the more that I feel pulled to keep playing it and keep getting deeper and deeper into it and seeing everything it has. But my frustration level playing Mewgenics is consistently so high, and me running into like one eye-rolling thing after another, where it's like, of course this boss can just do 4 movements in one turn, back to back to back, and then knocks out one of my cats, brings it back to life, and now that I have my other cat fighting me. It's like, of course, why wouldn't it? Like, there's this. I'm worried that there's this level of resentment from me towards this game, which is how I honestly feel, but it's that I hope I kind of can find a way through as I'm playing, because to me that's kind of the bummer point of the game right now, is like, I kind of hate playing it at the moment. Like, there's a lot of it that is good, like the battle system we've talked about. That stuff is genuinely really good. Just virtually everything surrounding the rest of the game is either purposely trolling, purposely frustrating, accidentally frustrating, or just like a bear to get through. And it's really, really frustrating, and it's really pushing me away from the game in a way that I'm also frustrated by, because of how much you and I liked The Binding of Isaac. And I wasn't expecting for like this to be The Binding of Isaac 2, but I was hoping this, sort of being touted as, Ed McMillan's next big roguelike after the last couple of games. There's a level of expectation there that I feel like I'm not quite having the game meet at the moment. So
yeah,
I don't know. It's complicated. I will still keep playing it throughout, the entire month that we're playing this game. But I'm a little worried about it at the moment. Of even now, I'm asking the question that we ask during the ranking episode, and at the moment, there's a lot of games that we play on this show where we're like, okay, I'm sad to see this one go, or like, okay, I had my time with it, I saw everything I wanted to see. But I feel like very, very rarely do we have games where we're like, God, I can't wait to be done. And at the moment, I'm kind of already ready to be done with Mewgenics, which is the exact opposite of what I would have expected going into this game. And that's a real bummer. So, that's week 2, Mewgenics. It's a frustrating bummer out there for a lot of reasons, but I'm still hoping to find some silver lining, to find something that kind of keeps me propelling me through this game, to at least keep enjoying the parts that I like.
Yeah.
Any final thoughts here for week 2 from you, Moon?
No. Like I said, it feels mean. We'll see how if I adjust to that or not.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Thank you very much, everyone, for listening. We'll see you all next run. Bye.
Ah, boy.